question of vision. And I think that vision, while, Uttam may have been very generous to say that the vision comes from SEBI, it is not enough. Imagine if SEBI had this vision, but the MIIs did not reciprocate or the industry did not reciprocate, वो एक हाथ से ताली नहीं बजती है. So you need the entire ecosystem to have that shared vision, and for people to say that what is right for the market is right for me, and I may have to bear some short-term pain, but I know that in the medium term, in the long term, this is what is going to benefit the market, and therefore I am going to be part of that growth story of the market, and therefore I am committed to this. And I think that indeed it has proved to be so. If you see the entire broking space, most of you are aware that there has been, over the last 4 or 5 years, a large number of changes that have been brought about by SEBI. The number of regulations that we have brought into this space is fairly large. Now look what has happened. The market is just blooming and growing because it's now built on such solid foundations. The investor has faith in the ecosystem. The regulator has faith in the ecosystem. Systemic risk has been largely eliminated. And therefore, the opportunity to build a really tall superstructure on this very deep foundation is what is leading to that growth. So that vision has to be a shared vision to begin with, right at the bottom. Uske bina best practice nahi banti hai. The next thing is experience. Often when we talk about regulation, and increasingly now you're seeing that SEBI's consultation papers, etc., all refer to data. What is that data? That data is nothing but experience. Because this is what we as a regulator have seen. This is what we have observed. And therefore, you are constantly evolving, because with every new piece of information, with every new piece of data, with every new experience you have, you improve things. So while there are things in the history of a market which go down as very, very significant milestones, we should not forget all the little improvements that were done along the way to actually bring the entire ecosystem to where it is. And that is based on experience. And which is why, I use this word very frequently, that the success of the Brokers Industry Standards Forum, and this is not true for many of our other pilots, the success of this forum has been that the practitioners came to the table. They invested their time, effort, and energy, and the senior people who had years and years of experience came to the table, and therefore they were able to take such quick decisions amongst themselves. Yes, I'm told that there are a few contentious areas where abhi bhi bahut ladai jhagda chal raha hai forum mein. Thankfully, we are out of it. We are very happy. But the point is that it's so much easier to have consensus when they are actual practitioners and they know what they are talking about, and they can, challenge each other. They can build consensus amongst each other because they're all practitioners. So that experience is extremely important. The third thing is development. So what do I mean by development is this point I made of incremental development, right? It's like a child when the child is growing up and it is developing, its brain is developing, right? Yes, you can see some distinct things when they become 3 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old, but there is this continuous development which is happening. And I think that is again the spirit in which the ISF has engaged with us. So when I first asked, the whole issue came up on this upstreaming of funds, and we said, okay, chalo, aap banao standards. So once there was good traction on that, the industry came back and said, by the way, we have some more points we want to discuss in the forum. So I said, okay, how many do you have? We have about 50. I said, what, 50? I mean, like 50 things are bothering you. I said, yes, 50 things are bothering us. So I said, very good, bring 50 to the table. I'm told that finally, after a lot of consultation within the entire stakeholder group, it actually went up to 100, and 100 points were listed. And each one of those 100 has, in the last 4 months, at least been discussed once, at least once, to determine whether it stays on the list, it is withdrawn, whether it's high priority, whether it's medium, long-term priority, and what is it? Is it impacting a large number of people? Is it specific to only a few people? Now, this really is what I think the whole value of this is, that it's not just about the enthusiasm of one or two circulars. It will be a continuous process. Today, we will clean up the backlog. If there are 100 points, I'm sure we will clean those up. By the way, I'm told that the target timelines for all of this is stretching max up to March, and I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted, and I'm sure my colleagues in MIRSD are equally delighted. Unka to super KRA. Matlab, their performance for the year is now guaranteed to be, we have a system. You are either normal, or you are above par, or you're below par. So this team, so you can contribute to that. Huh? Kamlesh? Inki to nivrutti ho gayi. So these guys will be very happy. Everybody will be very happy. Now comes the question of performance. See, none of what we want is at the cost of performance. What do I mean by performance? Either the performance in terms of the ease of trading by the investors, or the performance of the market as a whole, the growth. We do not want any of these, our regulations, to come in the way of that performance, right? So which is why the solutions which the industry comes up with are beautiful, because, as he said, a simple thing of saying, instead of Friday, make it Friday and Saturday. No trading on Saturday. So, no regulatory concern if it goes Friday plus Friday. So only the industry knows how to create that win-win. So we are so delighted. And every time, the proposal comes to me and I say, Acha, Mia Bivi Razi hai. Meaning usually ke MIIs and brokers Razi hai. So then now I've started asking, aur Kazi bhi Razi hai. So the department also. So what I'm finding is that because of very, very mature filtering at the forum stage itself, they don't allow proposals through which are not sensible or which are blatantly against the regulatory intent. They don't allow it through. So everything that is really coming through, our teams are very happy to say, yes, yes, sab kuch, yes, yes, chal raha hai. So this entire thing, without impacting performance, either for the investor or for the ecosystem, is what is the beauty of having practitioners, on the table. So, ethic. I think one statement was made today while we were all in the boardroom, that the one mantra that the ISF keeps always highest as a guiding North Star is that we know and understand the regulatory intent. What is the regulators, what is SEBI's intent? What are they trying to do here? The recommendation should not violate that intent. So very well put by Mr. Gandhi, and I think if that is the North Star that is guiding all the discussions, we can't expect or hope for, in fact, anything better than that. Knowledge goes without saying, right? Because if that knowledge were not brought to the table, finding a solution is impossible. Imagine putting a whole bunch of people with no understanding of the subject into a room. Where are you going to find a solution? So that goes without saying. Potential. To me, potential is a reflection of hope. If people think, "Arey, kuch nahi hoga, ye to it's a waste of time, this, that," you'll never get there. If you have hope, if you can see the potential, and that is the duty of everybody, each of the three main players in this entire, in this entire system, which is the brokers and the MIIs and SEBI, unless each one has the hope that we can find a solution, you will not find a solution. So there is no place for pessimists and naysayers. These committees can only be manned by people who have hope and belief. And all those skeptics ko thoda bahar hi rakhna chahiye. Okay? Competence is sort of linked to knowledge, but I think the difference is knowledge tends to be a little bit more academic. Competence focuses on the effectiveness. So again, the experience that comes to bear, that this is how it can be most effective, right? And again, creating that win-win situation. Also in terms of, I think increasingly, as we go forward, it will be about technology, that what is it that technology can do for us to make things easier. And when you put all of this together is when you get best practice. This is not a magic wand that suddenly one day you get best practice. So hats off to the entire Industry Standards Forum of Brokers. It's really been a pleasure, and thanks to the broking community and the MIIs to really make this happen. So it's really been this, partnership with everybody bringing their own piece and their knowledge, competence, and everything to the table. And these are, of course, the main participants in this entire process. And SEBI is most delighted, because for us, what does best practice really mean? It means that risk comes down, cost comes down, investor trust goes up, and investor convenience goes up. To us, that's what defines best practice. And that's what ISF has delivered. And we're looking forward to the rest of those recommendations, which are expected to come very, very shortly. And with that, we think that our role as the capital market, this is my favorite slide, I use it everywhere, because finally the markets are nothing without the real economy, and our job is to really fuel the real economy. And therefore, our success means the success of the real economy and the nation. And that's what we're all here to achieve. Thank you.